quick story to tell you about these guys.
Live from high atop Central Texas, it's the Pete Sousa Show, presented by the Rogue Media Network.
That's right, the Pete Sousa Show. Here we are. We are live in Central Texas, as I get redundant. Thanks to our public address guy for starting us off. I've yet to come up for a name for that young gentleman, but I will. Scotty Swingler is here on the Wheels of Steel, fresh off a big night, big concert night for Scotty. Hey, Scotty, do you and you can just talk. You don't have to. Do you?
No, you don't want to see me, Pete.
No, I'll see you. But when you go to a concert last night, like Yellow Card,
yeah,
are you sitting or standing?
Standing. Every time.
The whole concert?
I sat during one of the opening bands that I wasn't mega into, and most of the crowd was also sitting. But when the headliners come out, you stand. You stand, and I don't just stand. Yeah, I don't just stand. I stand, I jump, I sing, I dance, I pump my fist. I give them one of these as they're playing. Like, we go hard in the paint, man. Look, I got my tour tee on.
It's actually very cool.
Tour tee.
I love it. And you did say, I'm going to break your balls, but you said something earlier that I really liked. This band Yellow Card, they opened up with the Top Gun theme.
I was literally just about to cut 30 seconds because it's a 3-minute video I've got.
Yeah.
I want to give you 30 seconds later in the show if you'll let me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they opened with the Top Gun, which, by the way, I'll tell you and the general public a quick story. When I was in high school, this guy that used to play electric guitar at my church taught me that you can fit the Top Gun theme on guitar into any worship song at church. So when I became the lead guitarist for our college ministries praise band for 4 years while I was at Baylor, my goal every Sunday was to sneak in the Top Gun theme into a song somewhere.
It's an amazing song.
And
and the extended version, like
And,
like you got to get the real one. Like,
so I know this isn't very reverent, but my buddies and I would sneak the Top Gun theme into a worship song every Sunday, and my buddies would try to spot it. And I would try to sneak it in so subtly and musically that they wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
So when Yellow Card comes out and opens with the theme last night, I absolutely freaked out. It was so good. By the way, look at our boy Bear the Truth. He knows Yellow Card, Ocean Avenue. That's their #1 song. They closed with that last night. It was incredible. Yeah.
So were you? Boy, a lot to, as they say, unpack. So do you sing all the lyrics too?
Absolutely.
Are the people behind you standing up?
Everybody in the building was standing up, Pete.
I'm good then.
That's a rock and roll show, man.
Well, if there is like an understanding that we're all standing, that's cool. If you're the guy in front of me that's jumping around and I can't see because I like to sit, then I got an issue.
So here's what's nice about this venue. And this is not my favorite kind of venue to see a show at, because if you are the kind that likes to jump around and dance a little bit, it's not as fun. But this was at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in the Woodlands last night. And so what it is, you've got a pit down in front where you can buy standing room, right? And get kind of that true front row experience. Yeah. Those tickets were too expensive for your boy. Then you've got like a bowl that's almost like stadium seating coming up.
Yeah.
And so that whole bowl was standing for the two headliners. This is a co-headlining tour, a Yellow Card and A Day to Remember. Everybody's standing for those bands. But then behind that, there's a lawn. That you can buy really cheap tickets and go sit or stand in the grass. Pete, you could have sat on your blanket and with your hot cocoa, your old man attending concert vibe, and you could have sat back there and been just fine. But if you were down in the bowl like I was,
I like that.
Everybody was bouncing.
I like that opportunity and being able to do either or. Next time, God, if we could get somebody to film you while you're doing this, jumping around and play some of that back, I would.
Well, my brother is kind, and he didn't take any videos of me. We just took videos of the band. So let me cut this up.
All right.
I'll show you later some
back to business here. The show, of course, presented by Slovatrics. By the way, shout out to the Woodlands. That's where Christy Donaldson, my therapist. She's, I think, from the Woodlands. Premier Neurofeedback. Check them out. they do telehealth too. Boy, she's got her work cut out for her. Between her and my AA meetings, and to still come up short in life is like, it can be discouraging. Like I have like a team of people working on me. But hey, that's how we continue to pack stuff into the stream of life. We are presented by Slovaceks, like I said. Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, First National Bank of Central Texas. Dan Ingham agreed. He's not in mourning because of Mike Gundy. He agreed that he will join us tomorrow to make another pick. I think he's 0-3. So I don't know what the worst news is, Coach Gundy or his record so far. But he agreed because we got David Pollack coming on today. David Pollack is a dude who is an amazing personality, amazing football analyst. He doesn't even know it. And maybe he'll recognize I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I was on a crew where Rob Stone was the play-by-play guy. David was the analyst, and I was the stats guy for Rob Stone. This was before I got sober. So it was not exactly a squeaky clean season for your boy. We'll leave it at that. But David Pollack is one of those guys where, traveling and going on, because you travel with these guys, right? Just like I do now, calling games. He was just so cool, treats the GM like the janitor, or treats the janitor like the GM. Sorry.
Man, he really treats those high-flying guys like they're nothing.
No. Yeah. And he's just a great guy. He was always like looking out for people and got a great sense of humor. I don't really know how things or why things ended at ESPN, but we ain't covering that here because we don't care. David Pollack is just a house of fire when it comes to football and football analysis, and looking real forward to talk to him. However you say that, really forward, or we're looking forward. I think we'll just leave it at that. Man, there's so much to get to today. Yesterday, we talked to Dave Hunziker, which was an amazing interview. Like, I loved talking to that dude. He's the voice of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. We talked a little bit about Mike Gundy. I didn't want to, I know what it's like to be on the team side. And when somebody's asking you, is Mike Gundy getting fired? I almost see that as kind of lazy. So I wanted to of course, we talked about that, but we nuanced it a little bit, hey, like, what's it like in the building? Why has Oklahoma State been struggling? And he did an amazing job illustrating to us. And I put that clip up online. You can find it on the Pete Sousa Show page. He kind of got into why Oklahoma State is struggling in the NIL world. And it was very clear. Chad Weidel, their athletic director, said yesterday, we need to find someone who can take us into this new era. Now, honestly, I don't know that Mike Gundy may get a head coaching job somewhere else where he does phenomenal. And, oh, by the way, they're not going to put him in a time machine to have him coach in yesteryear, right? So it's not like it's beyond Mike Gundy to adapt, right, and move forward. And this is like, I'm kind of like, zigzagging. I'm kind of zagging here. I know everybody says this had to be done, right? It's tough to find somebody that says, he should have stayed. Look, man, one calendar year ago, I think Oklahoma State was ranked like 13th in the country. They were 3 or 4-0, and they were getting ready to play Utah in what we thought was going to be the game of the year in the Big 12. Holy shit! How quickly does stuff change? And look, it's on tape, it's on paper, right? Losing like 9 straight conference games, and they've been getting their asses kicked, right? Unfortunately, they have been. And that loss to Tulsa, obviously the straw that broke the camel's back. First time in 50 years, Tulsa had beaten Oklahoma State. And it happened, and it's kind of like a dichotomy in a sense where your team is cratering, but that game on Friday night was sold out. And I've called a game at Oklahoma State. Like, there is like something there because it's always sold out. Like, unfortunately, I love Baylor. We know the situation there. Like it's not always brimming to the top or spilling over. In Stillwater, it is. And a lot of that has to do with the success that Mike Gundy put together, right? Like we filmed inside the 12 this morning. So I've got some like numbers off the top of my head. Oklahoma State in the past 10 years is ranked 16th in all of college football for wins, right? I think they have 80 wins in the past 10 years. I could be wrong. I think it's more than that, 86 or something. But they're ranked 16th of all the college football teams, right? I think they're right there with Oregon. Like that's amazing. 5 New Year's 6 bowl games since 2010, 3-time coach of the year. I mean, all the 10-win seasons and everything. And Mike Gundy is still young. Like, it's not like he's somebody who is like his mind has started to atrophy. So I don't know. It would have been interesting if you could like, why is Christy calling me now? Is something wrong with the broadcast? Ready? Let's see. Christy.
Are you on your show?
Yeah. Is there an issue?
No, Lex just has a really exciting to call. I wasn't sure when your show was.
Oh, so you're on the air right now. Do you want to share it with us?
Well, she's on.
One more time.
Lex, are you there? Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Lex, what's the news?
Hi, Pete. I wanted to let you know that I signed up, or I'm going to be signing up for the RIT Sports Broadcasting Network. And I also got the contact information. So sorry. I also got the contact information from one of the video directors for the Red Wings, and she's going to be contacting me.
Wow, how about that? Huge news.
Yeah. You wanted that broadcasting.
The great Lex Paul. All right, I love you both. I'll be in touch later. Thank you, guys. Bye. There's no reason she should call me during this show, so I knew it was a big deal. Now, to put her right on the air like that, that's my fiance, Christy, by the way, and her daughter, soon to be my daughter. Yeah, that's amazing because Lex is a journalist. All right, we'll talk about that later. I got to get back to Mike Gundy. That's an amazing story, though. I'm always on Lex to be like, you got to be a journalist, like, because she wants to do it. I'm like, you have to you're a freshman. Go to these student stations. Go to these newspapers. Tell them you want to do this. So that's awesome. Okay, so Mike Gundy, right? He's had such great success there that like he's not an old guy. That's what I was saying. Let's see how old he is. Actually, do you know off the top of your head, Scotty?
He should be 58 because we just celebrated the 18th anniversary of.
Oh no, I'm 40.
40 speech.
All right, so he's 58, right? I mean, we talked about Bruce Pearl retiring yesterday. You're exactly right, 58. You know, and Bruce Pearl just 65. So like he's young. I mean, Mike Gundy has a lot of coaching left, right? It's his coaching career is not over. Certainly not if he wants it to be. Like, it's just amazing how hyperbolic we are and how reactive we are and how on board everybody is with letting this legendary coach go after a calendar year of really bad football. Like there's what
I will say, not to just interrupt.
No, please.
And dispute what you just said. You said everybody's on board. I saw a lot of, and maybe X is just showing me what I want to see, the algorithm. I saw a lot of folks a little frustrated, not necessarily because he was fired, but because it happened on a Tuesday after like week 4. I saw a lot of Oklahoma State fans kind of grumbling about the way
I thought that
like
sucked.
You trotted him out, made him do a Monday press conference, talk about Baylor coming up, issues to address, and then you fired him the next day. And I know that could have gone a ton of different ways that made that happen, but it was a bad look.
I agree. Thank you, Scotty. It was a crappy look. And look, nobody knew. Obviously, Dave Hunziker, who's dialed in that building, would not have agreed to come on our show yesterday if he knew that Mike Gundy was going to be fired, moments after he wrapped. Literally, it was like 5 minutes after. So I think like it's kind of crazy. Like you could have allowed him a little bit of grace to either finish the season, and who knows, maybe they felt like if you let him finish the season, he does that old Wayne Fonts thing where he ends up winning like 6 games in a row at the end, or gosh, it didn't seem like it was headed that direction. But then you got to find a way to keep him again, because at the end of last year, I mean, dude, he didn't have any assistants return. So that's crazy. You've got upwards of 60 new players. You've got all new assistants. And you've like that is a recipe for losing football games, certainly for going 1-2. So I would have liked to have seen him get the opportunity to finish out the season. I honestly would have liked to have seen him get the opportunity to finish like his career at Oklahoma State. Because I think like I do believe like there's an opportunity to turn it around. Now, look, everybody gets fired in life. I mean, like in this industry. I mean, there are very few. I mean, you can count them on a few hands, right? Like Nick Saban's. You know, like Bear Bryant was pushed out, right? Like Bill Snyder is another one, right? Like he kind of rode off into the sunset. But it is so rare. And Mike Gundy is another casualty, not only of the passion of college football fans and the impatience of college football fans, but I believe now the pressure cooker is just tighter than ever. And we're going to talk to David Pollack about that coming up. I want to switch, and Scotty, we can talk more about this. I don't need a fireworks display from you right now because I know you're going to get feisty. I watched Cam yesterday. Cam Stewart, our buddy, right? This is, I don't know if this is aimed at me or what, this headline. So Cam goes on Locked On Baylor, and it's like you can set your goddamn calendar to it. Baylor, a little bit of a rocky start, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. Dude, I said this 6 months ago, that those first 4 games, 2-2, might not be bad. And particularly when you look at the rest of Baylor's schedule, I think it is so foolish right now to call for Dave Aranda's job. Now, they suck at home in big games, and that's like, you got to figure that out. Like, you can't have, and I get it. Like, even as, look, man, I am slated to a little bit of breaking news that nobody's going to break. I'm going to call Baylor's game against Kansas State for ESPN. Not this week coming up, but the one after that, right? And I will not be cheering for Baylor. I will be an impartial, right down the middle ESPN play-by-play guy. But like, look, I know a lot of people around the program. I'm a human being. I tend to hope those people do well and experience success. And I want people around Baylor and the Waco community that I spent the majority of my time in to feel good about themselves. I want that. So I pull for Dave Aranda to do well, and I believe in him and his mission. He's a tough guy to get behind because of how understated he is, and he's an easy guy to bail on because of how understated he is. And I do understand the frustration, but it's week 4, and you've got a couple games. I'll do it one more time, right? Scotty can probably do it off the top of his head. So Baylor has Oklahoma State coming up this week, Kansas State. Who's after that?
Bye. And then TCU.
So TCU. So you should be 4-2 going into TCU. And right there, that is it right there. That is the money shot, right? The TCU game. The opportunity for Baylor is there to turn things around quickly. Look, man, Arizona State is about to head into a gauntlet. Their next 5 games, you know, they have TCU on Friday. Then I think it's Houston, Texas Tech, Iowa State, and another Big 12 juggernaut. And so, like, Arizona State beat Baylor, right, head-to-head. But we could be having a much different conversation about both of these teams coming up shortly. Is Pollack's here? All right, so we'll take a quick break, and let's do one of those breaks where we cut it in half because we don't want to keep the great David Pollack hanging around waiting. But I got a lot of stuff I want to bounce off my man, David Pollack. It's an absolute treat to have him with us today. So the Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovakics, back after this short break with the great David Pollack. Stay with us. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards,